Hello everyone and welcome back to the BUSR Winter Series. It is round 3. We are off to Czechia to the Brno GP circuit. This is the third round of the season. I'm joined here by Ozzy. Hello Ozzy.
Hi Dan, I'm so glad to be back after last week, and I did get good news on my x-rays from last week. I am officially cleared for work on all weight and movement restrictions. November 20th, my fracture will fully heal, so...
Hey, that's good news. Hey, yeah, we're going to get started with qualifying pretty soon now, but yeah, that's good news, Ozzy. I'm glad you're here. You did miss quite an interesting pair of races, actually, in America. At Sonoma, there was some interesting racing lines taken into the hairpin, but overall it was a cracking set of races with some good results for one of our round 1 heroes, Lorenzo Bialtieri. He's definitely the man on form right now.
I was very, very delighted to hear that Lorenzo finally got his lick back. And you know, I was briefed a little bit. I did kind of skim through the broadcast, as I told you before we started here. I do have my handy dandy little sheet that tells me all the results of quali R1 and R2. So all things considered, I don't think I've skipped much of a beat, and I'm sure that the Brno circuit is going to be quite the cluster truck, as if I do say so myself. Although we're not racing trucks, we're racing cars here, people. This is ACC, for Christ's sake. I'm excited. Yeah, what can I say?
Yeah, these are Ginetta G55 GT4 cars, as they're a mod for Assetto Corsa, and we're off to, as you said, the Brno circuit. Now, for those of you at home that haven't ever heard of this circuit, I can pretty much guarantee that you aren't fans of motorbikes, because this is primarily a bike track. It's got 14 turns, it's about just under 3.5 miles long, and there's a lot of wiggling going on. I'm sure we'll see some cars trying to mount some curves as we go through the very wiggly middle half of the lap, which means it's going to prove an interesting challenge. Unlike Sonoma, which is a lot of straight lines and very fast corners with that one very sharp hairpin, this seems to be a track of basically just sharp corners and tight corners. I was speaking to one of the drivers earlier this week, and he said it's very hard to find the best racing line because there's so many lines through the middle sector, turns 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. It's going to make it very interesting, as qualifying will be starting very shortly. It's starting now.
Yeah, I'd say it's very much akin to like a luge track when you look at the actual track map, because of all the turns. Although, to be fair, those turns are more defined, as we've got live action here. As you said, Lorenzo Gualtieri, our champion from race number 1 at Sonoma. He was second in both qualifying, and he was second in race 1 at Alton. And yeah, that comeback that we saw on race 2, where he made up, I believe it was 14 positions or something like that, before unfortunately finishing 7th place. He's already off at 4th place in qualifying. Aiden Larson, after no showing last year, not last year, goodness gracious, I'll get to it eventually. After no showing last week's festivities at Sonoma, is back in the fold, currently in 2nd place on the little grid here, although the times aren't accurately representing it. But truth be told, I think getting around just that middle 5 section of turns is going to prove to be difficult. If you were to thrust me onto that track, guaranteed I am going to be crashing within 15 minutes of repeated attempts at there. But these are somewhat experienced drivers in to varying degrees. So we will see what happens here, you know, as we talked about, much anticipated here at Brno. I'm just gonna shift it back to you. Like last time I was here, I ain't got no segue for that.
It's fine, yeah. We're starting to see the first couple of lap times come in. The only lap time on that timing tower that's actually accurate is the Lorenzo one, which is a 2:19. However, that is well off the pace we saw in practice earlier. That was an out lap time, so it doesn't mean anything, but it's the only one that's at least technically true, which means he could technically qualify with that lap if he really wanted to. But I saw lap times down in the 2:2s earlier, so that is going to be the target for our front running couple of drivers. The championship, of course, very close, with Lorenzo's poor luck in Alton Park means that Aiden Larson's dominant performance, no show in Sonoma, kind of balances itself out there. Both drivers having one cracking round and then one round of minimal to no points. There we go, a 2:03.6, our first representation or lap time on the board, but that will drop. Here is Alex Hughes, race winner last time out at Sonoma, I believe, coming round sort of just, well, I've got no idea where we are on circuit. It's a wiggly circuit. There's lots and lots and lots of corners to go off here. He appears to be going round somewhere near the end of the lap as we see this green car. Yeah.
And we saw, and I saw on these results, according to my data, he was 10th in the qualifying at Sonoma, managed to finish 7th place in the first race as well. He was in with Thomas, I believe it's Thomas and Alex, who are the twin brothers, and then Josh is the cousin, but, you know, they're all related. But, yeah, it has been quite the interesting journey to see all three members of this Hughes family taking on the ACC championship. It looks like the scoreboard is no longer in the process of having a stroke, bar for maybe the times at the back. As we see Lorenzo and Aiden Larson, we wanted so badly to see that battle between the two of them. I recall in the post-race interview with Aiden Larson that Lorenzo, I believe he called him, he's a dog out there on the circuit. But if we see a battle between these two, and especially on a track as chaotic as Brno, that is going to yield some very interesting results, I take it. As we're still looking here at Thomas Hughes, who was, interestingly enough, 15th place at Sonoma Race 2. He was 6th place in the first race there. He was 2nd in Race 2 at Olton as well, so very mixed results so far for our guy Thomas Hughes. Flashing now to Adam Bent. He has had a somewhat eventful championship so far. His highest finish was Sonoma Race 1. He was in 9th place. I believe that was his highest one in terms of quali as well.
Yeah, Adam got that monster start in round 2 at Sonoma from 2nd on the grid. Absolutely launched it out of, seemingly out of nowhere, took the lead on the reverse grid, and then just, pushed it too wide onto one of Sonoma's curbs, kicked it wide off into the gravel and out of the race now as he comes across towards the line at the end of this lap. We're seeing lap times drop across the board now, sort of most drivers settling into the nice range of 2-minute 5, 2-minute 4, 2-minute 3, 2-minute 5, 2-minute 7, sort of in that mid 2-minute to 10, 2-minute to 2-minute 10 sort of range now. That is a lovely livery there from whichever car that was. Here on board with Cassis now, the 3rd place car. Back to Ben Choi, not a name I recognise. I think new to the series, mounts a curve off into the gravel. That is lap over for that car there. Love the livery on that.
He's a little shy. He's a little shy there. Yes, Ben Choi. We also have Bien Tran as well, who is 20th place on the leaderboard so far. But a good thing to note here within the times at the top 10 is that there is not much space between those. Between 1st place of Lorenzo Gualtieri and 10th place currently of Thomas Hughes, there is only about 2.3 seconds worth of separation. So while this is a very difficult track for these drivers to navigate, the amount of separation is very, very small. So these drivers all have possibly the same level of knowledge, and as you said as well, there are many, many, many lines to this course as well. Yet another factor that we have to integrate into what can we expect of this race. We're keeping track right now of Aiden Larson in his Ginetta G4. Larson was the winner of both Olton Park races as well, flashing to Lorenzo as well. And we're going to be hyping this matchup a lot, I take it, between Lorenzo and Aiden, as their times right now. It's only about a quarter of a second between them, but who knows what is going to take place in the race. But quali is interesting right now, to see the least.
Yeah, definitely. We've started to see those early sort of runs. Every driver sort of just dipping their toe in the water of a quick lap, just getting their sort of benchmark on the board. We see a McLaren liveried car spear off onto the grass. This track is unforgiving. Like I said, it's built for MotoGP. Lovely drift there from the number 108 off into the wall for Brummy there. Not really the best of racing lines. A little bit of lawn mowing, quick spin and back onto the track. There is number 51, Sam Knight, there down in 17th right now. He's going to look to improve on his previous results at Sonoma. We saw him on the broadcast as he was sideways down towards turn 11. Had a little chat with him. Turns out the car ahead of him brake checked him and there was no way he could go. So that was not on his fault. And I apologise for blaming him slightly on the broadcast there. This car is a splatter livery inspired by a Le Mans Cup Porsche. So if any of you are really extreme car nerds and know about the Le Mans Cup GT3 class, you may recognise that as a reference to the Wiley Motorsport Porsche. Here he is, relatively at the back there, also races in Formula 1. So he covered a lot of bases in BUSR. He's just here to have fun. So if you're watching and thinking, gosh, I could not put in a 2-minute 3.6 around this circuit in that car, you don't have to. You can just drive because you want to and have fun. I admire that. But some of my drivers, someone goes head first into the pit wall very hard there, completely abandoning there. That was not the optimal racing line for that car, straight into the pit wall, as we see Sam now starting another lap.
Yeah, and yeah, these liveries are definitely, they're very visually striking to look at, especially with some of the ones we hadn't seen before in the previous races. But I would like to kind of compare this course layout to, I'd say it's very much akin, and you can agree or disagree with me on this, but I'd say it's very much akin to the Singapore GP track in terms of the chaotic potential, we've seen in a couple of races in F1. I believe the George Russell incident was I was in a call with some of them a couple years back, laughing my ass off at that. And but yes, the amount of corners, certainly not the length of Singapore, but yes, I cannot say enough how much this track has a sort of ominous presence of just something could definitely go wrong if you do not, lock in at this moment. We're taking a look still. Aiden Larson in second place behind Lorenzo Gualtieri, still about the same margin. Hasn't really been much of a notable improvement between him or Lorenzo. The gap remains at a quarter of a second. We have two cars in the pit as well. Noticing some of the names that I did not see in race one. I think Dachkoy, the third place car at this moment, had himself a nice race one in Sonoma at fourth place, an improvement from fifth place in quali, according to my data, but that race two took him down to 12th place, it looks like. So yeah, definitely something I might have missed there. Still no improvements here, but I do see the gap between first and 10th is shrinking a bit as well as Larson crosses the line. I don't think that was an improvement on there. It does seem like...
Yeah, lost a bit of time in Sector 2 and then never recovered any of it in Sector 3 here. Looking at the sector times, this first sector is incredibly short. It's the quickest laps are sector times are around the 15-second time for Sector 1, so it's a very short first sector across this quite long lap. But yeah, seeing improvements, some drivers improving, but most of them not now as we get into the 7 and a bit minutes of qualifying to go. Here is Lorenzo, purple Sector 1, red in Sector 2, well down on his PB, if my timing sheet is to be believed, so probably not going to be an improvement. No, that was well off the pace. Evidently something went wrong in Sector 2 for Lorenzo. He's got to be one of the drivers, well, one of the absolute favourites for the title, let alone the race here. I mean, this track gives me, you were saying about Singapore vibes. It's not too dissimilar to something like the Hungaro Ring or even Alton Park from round 1, which we know he did well at. It's got a lot of corners. It's very tight. There's no walls like Singapore might have. So that's an advantage for turn 1 chaos. That there's not going to be, a complete roadblock as we get 4 Ginettas wide, turning into one big pile of Ginettas down at turn 1 here. So yeah, Dak Choi also does work. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. But from the sheer amount of corners in such a small distance of track in the lap, and as you said as well, combine that with the amount of possible lines that each driver can take. There's also a sort of RNG where you have to think to yourself, okay, what line can I optimally take to shave off the most time and improve the most in practice and in quali, as we saw a little bit of a situation there as Maris Dallas kept crossing the line here. But yeah, no, especially in that middle section between turns 5 and 9, there are so many lines you can take, but whichever one, especially with all the jostling, that lap 1's going to be absolutely just... Oof, it's going to be so bad. But you don't know necessarily what line's going to be the best until you've driven it. We're looking here at Archie O'Leary. The gap between first and 10th place, I must remark, is now less than 2 seconds. The margin of error is getting less and less somehow on this track as O'Leary coming around this next turn. And flashing back to Lorenzo Gualtieri. No improvement. Oh, no, wait! I take my words back. We have improvement. He's gone up by 0.02 of a second to a 2:03.624, I believe. That is nicely done. He must have found some racing line that allowed him to shave those key fractions of a second off.
Yeah, it was a stellar first sector from Lorenzo, followed up by a very good, not quite as good middle sector, and then a medium low last sector, hence why it was only a small improvement. That definitely does put the pressure on Aiden Larson, though, who doesn't appear to be improving on this lap. They've still got 4.5 minutes to go, so probably a couple, maybe 3 more laps if you really push it of this circuit to go before we get into our 2 20-minute races, which is going to be interesting. Turn 1 is a big, long, sweeping right-hander, goes all the way around 180 degrees before the kink of turn 2, which means that turn 3 is the turn 3, 4, left, right, 90-degree kind of area is going to be very important for us. I was here, Aiden Larson going round that big, not quite, but it looks banked, but it isn't. It's definitely flat, but it definitely could be banked, like almost a Zandvoort kind of bank turn. Then through the fast kink, turn left there at turn 2 before up to the 90-degree left of turn 3 there. It's a little bit of downhill braking. Just got to brake a little bit earlier than you might normally brake. Hit the curb, run it out wide but not too wide so you can line up 4 well. Really wide there. Cut the curb on the inside of turn 4 as well before you're on the straight down to the really wiggly bit of 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 here for our Australian driver.
Yeah, and you were remarking too about Lorenzo's second sector being, not the best, but still somewhat good. At this point, given the format of the Brno circuit, that's really all you can ask for, given the sheer difficulty of that sector from turn 5 to turn 9 alone. As we're still looking on Aiden Larson, he does seem to be holding himself, taking the outer, switching back to inner on this next turn. And we have improvement from Lorenzo Gualtieri. He is at a 2:03.281. He has extended the lead to just under 0.6 of a second on Aiden Larson. No doubt in my mind, an extra bit of pressure being applied here as he's coming around the next turn. Surely he is getting closer to the finish line here. Let me see if I can find his number on the mini map. Yes, he's getting towards this straightaway into turns 13 and 14. He's going to have to push for every last fraction of a second if he wants to catch Lorenzo for that pole position in quali. He goes around turn 13, getting around turn 14, pedal to the metal. Got to give it all you got, Aiden. Let's see what it's going to be. Is there going to be an improvement? And unfortunately not, but still very promising sector from Aiden Larson. And yeah, that's just going to show off certainly what battle this is.
Yeah, so Maris Dallas, now the driver we're focusing on in 4th place, has improved in sector 1, improved in sector 2, is 0.4 up last time. The timing sheet's updated, roaring up to the line, 400 or so horsepower propelling that Ginetta over the line to set a new lap time, puts it up to 3rd place for Maris Dallas there, a 2-minute 4.005 there, a very, very quick lap puts them up to 3rd place. Dak Choi, can they retaliate? They are probably, my timing says they're probably unable to. That's just been a stellar last sector. No, that is not an improvement from Dak Choi, at least definitely not in placement. Here we are on Kessus, way down in terms of the timing there. Their second sector was definitely not what they wanted, so probably not going to be any sort of improvement for them, no, as they come across the line now. That is still 5th place for that car. That top group there, very close, but Lorenzo's last lap was a purple sector 1 and a purple sector 3, so you're going to struggle to beat 2 purple sectors. But I'm saying that Aiden Larson on the timing sheets has gone purple in sector 2, so there's still hope out there. There is still time for the Australian. He is 0.44 seconds up at the end of sector 2, green in sector 1, purple sector 2. Like I said, this man is on an absolute mission in the last minute of qualifying. Let's hope this traffic ahead can get out the way.
Yeah, and if you are going purple in sector 2, especially at Brno, that is an incredible indication that there is going to be some sort of improvement. The fact that he has gone purple, he has mastered that sector. He is going to be coming across that long straightaway now between turns 12 and 13. And yeah, the traffic, let's hope he can clear it up, because this man is pushing for a time that at the very least he would, I bet you 3.5 would be a sizable improvement to give him some sort of a chance as he's revving across the line. Is there going to be improvement? You said a purple sector 2. Let's see if that reflects on here. And yes, 3.575. There is a sizable improvement, so a little bit of extra pressure now on Gualtieri as time runs out and we enter overtime of qualifying. Focus back now on Maris Dallas, who had a sizable improvement last lap. 204 double knot 5 going into the line. I doubt there's going to be an improvement. A little bit of catching on that curb. Still just 71 hundredths of a second out of first place. I mean, this is Lorenzo we're talking about, but it is still a very good amount of time. There's a chance, definitely, if you're less than a second behind, in which case right now it's the top 4 who are all within a second of Lorenzo. Maris Dallas going back out into another lap. This will be the last one. Kessis coming in. Is there going to be an improvement? Let's take a look-see. 204.552, the personal best to beat. And a little bit of improvement. Not very notable, but still 32 thousandths of a second as they're spinning it, crashing into the wall. Good PB for Kessis.
Yeah, just a comment on that lap made in Larson. His first sector was rapid. His second sector was substantially quicker than Lorenzo, but his third sector suffered. He was about half a second down in sector 3, so evidently there was a mistake or some traffic interference in sector 3, and that really cost him his lap overall. Obviously improved the time, but I think with a clean sector 3 he'd have been half a second further forward, which would have quite happily put him on pole, which shows there is pace in that blue, black, white and gold car here, as we see another one of our cars going across the line, that plain white livery there. Just finishing off qualifying. They managed to put the car in 12th place there, which is not a bad start for someone that I at least personally don't recognise in this series. John B comes across the line, sets a new personal best, puts it 6th. Eric Einerson, a driver we've not seen much in this qualifying session, has been rapid through some of the races, but has not really made any sort of impact. Currently sitting in 13th place.
Yeah, it's probably just biding time. Second place in race number 1 of Sonoma. I believe they were also, they have been top 10. They were top 10 in quali, race 1, race 2. They were out of top 10 in both races at Olton, but notably 5th place finish in quali at Olton, as we're getting winding down to the last bit of practice. I believe we've still got one car on track, or no? I guess that's it. But yeah, that's Lorenzo and Aiden at top 2. What else can you really expect, even with the track at Brno?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very close qualifying session. We saw sector times coming in that were purple and green and orange. If you want to follow along, there is timing available through our Discord series. That's how I'm getting mine. So if you want to follow along and understand what I'm on about, you can do. And speaking of that, if you want to join in, come and join our Discord, and you can come and join the comms team, race, or just watch and talk to our drivers. But yeah, qualifying down there, 2 races to come up at this wonderful Czechia circuit. It's going to be absolute chaos here, I think, with these turns. Just looking at that track map, turn 1 and 3 are going to be absolute carnage. We've got our front 2 drivers in the title, starting on the front row with a few other race-winning contenders behind them. I'm struggling to pick a favourite for this one. We saw that Aiden Larson has the pace, but Lorenzo's got pole.
I'm very much with you on that. And I honestly think that if there is anything that could get Aiden Larson to another race victory here at Brno, it is going to be that continued mastery of that second section of turns 5 through 9, as we saw. If he is going purple in that is just, I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. I mean, we know Aiden is a very good racer, from him sweeping the Olton quali and 2 races. But this is just, I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be a battle. It's it's like predicting the World Series. You don't know which team's going to win, but all you know is it is going to go to the maximum amount of games, which in the World Series is 7. I bring that up because my Blue Jays are in there. So,
yeah, I would not be surprised if this race is decided towards the end of the last lap, unless we see a monumental pile up into turn 1, in which case it will be decided almost immediately. But let's hope we don't have any crashes off the line. I think it's a very short run to turn 1, so there shouldn't be too much chance for any slipstreaming. It's not like other circuits we might see, sort of Monza, where turn 1 is notorious for a bit of bumping. But yeah, it's a standing start for these Ginettas, which will help them just kind of keep it calm into turn 1. But that turn 3 is going to be interesting, especially with that mix of drivers. We've not got any complete shockers in qualifying. I think Eric Einarsson starting well outside of the top 10 is going to be one to watch. Maybe he just doesn't like this track, hasn't done much practice, I don't know, but whatever's happening for that guy.
Waiting for the race too. He could be just, getting a feel for the track and quali, and then just saving all of the energy to just lock in on both races. So
it could well be. We've seen people do it before where they've had poor qualifyings come through the pack. Lorenzo obviously being a good example of that in race 2 at Alton Park. He gained 14 places, and 14 places for Eric would put him at -1 or 0, which doesn't really make any sense, but we'll go with it anyway. But yeah, just a reminder of the format for anybody who's new here. We've got 2 races. Both of them are 20 minutes long, and then plus 1 lap. So that means that once the clock hits 0, there's still 1 more lap to go. So so you really shouldn't go sliding across the line at the end of the time, because you've still got 1 more to go. But reminder, the second race is reverse grid. So the top 10 from race 1 will become the inverted top 10 for the grid of race 2. 10th place becomes pole, 9th second, etc., all the way down, which definitely throws a slight strategic element into that race. So we'll have to see how that impacts actions towards the back end of the front pack, the start of the midfield in race 1.
Yep, and it's an extra incentive for the racers who, near the end of the race, they might be in places, I'd say 11 through 14. It's extra incentive, not just to get you some points in the race, but also that you're going to be receiving a monumental advantage if you can just crack the top 10. Even if you get outgamed by whoever's in 10th place and they let you pass. I mean, you're still getting points, but it's like, at what point does the trade-off between points and places work out? That's definitely what you really have to think of.
I think it depends how you're looking at your season. If you're going for the long run, if you're here for all 8 rounds, yes, there are 8 rounds, so please do join us for the remaining 5. Then you might be thinking, I'll bank the points, I'll take the points, I'll keep it safe. But if you're here for a one-off appearance, you've got nothing to lose. You might as well absolutely send it. Just let off the throttle a bit coming out of the last turn, drop back to 10th, get the pole position, then hammer it in race 2 for that race win. So I think it will also depend on who is around that area. Some drivers are here for the full running, so the huge trio are here. People like Maris Dallas, Aiden Larson, they're all here for the long run. But we've got new names coming in each week. These guys might only do 1 round. This might be their one chance at getting a podium. So if they're going to risk it, then they might as well risk it properly.
And judging by the sound of that horn, I would guess that the race is soon to begin.
And it's outside my window because I live above a big road. It's very, very nice and fun and not at all annoying in any way, shape or form. We're going to be starting the racing pretty soon, so please do not go anywhere unless it's to get snacks, in which case we'd understand if you wanted to get snacks, because it's going to be an absolute cinematic piece of racing carnage. Now the cars are making their way to the digital grid. Of course, no formation lap because it's Assetto Corsa. We don't bother with things as folly as warming tyres up manually. We'll just do it digitally. We've got 14 turns of 20 minutes, so it's, a nice track.
Our transmission's like a real man.
Yeah, we blow things up properly. We fry clutches on a standing start with none of this, rolling start. No, we've destroyed clutches properly. We burn out off the line properly. We'll be starting very soon. No idea when, but yeah, it'll be nice and soon. I'm looking forward to these races.
Oh man, you would love the traffic going through Detroit. I tell you what.
I can only imagine.
You can only imagine. That's probably the only time when it's better to have an automatic than a manual transmission.
Definitely. These guys, they have got flappy paddles, so they're not trying to launch it with a proper clutch, but it's still not the easiest to do. I should imagine a full automatic would be all right to launch. These guys just have to kind of floor it and pull a paddle. We still see stalling off the line. We saw that at Alton Park in race 2. There was a pit. Well, they hadn't even actually got across the line yet, so I guess they couldn't even have started the race. But they had a crash before. These Ginettas are not the best off the line, but they're certainly manageable. We've got lights on 2, 3, 4 lights are on at the Brno GP circuit for race 1 of the day. It's lights out, rock and roll, let's go racing here. Amazing start from our front runners. Lorenzo gets the lead, Aiden tucks in just behind there, going down towards turn 1. Appears to be a reasonably clean start from the cars ahead. Aiden looking around the outside. There's a car up behind them, very close from the third place car. That's Maris Dallas getting up the inside. There's a car off in the side. That is I don't know who that was. There we go. Yep, gone off there at turn 1. Aiden Larson now still running in second place. Couldn't find the way past. Kessels has dropped a few places off the start there. Reasonably clean start, but not the greatest there for Dak Choi. Aiden having a look up the inside into that all-important turn 3 braking zone. A little bit of contact behind there for, I think it's for Archie O'Leary there, going to the back of someone.
Got a red flag.
Red flag has been pulled. That is race stopped according to the server. And those at the top, well, they're still racing where Maris Dallas is. Aiden Larson's pulled off. There we go. Red flag, race restart.
Already?
Oh, then. Something big happened. We didn't see what it was. We just saw one car go off, but something evidently happened.
Yeah, we just saw Dachkoi come off there, and I was gonna think there must have been something going on that happened at Sector 2. That was holy Moses.
I saw flicking from over here where my timing sheet is. Couldn't tell you what it was, but evidently it was the end of the world as we know it. There was just carnage, and our organisers decided just to pull the red flag. It's just safer at that point to pull it. Let the race restart. So basically, for any of you who are not motorsport initiated, a red flag is an immediate session stop. In real life racing, it's so that the carnage can be cleared up by marshals and track staff. In digital racing, it's because someone twonked it too hard and the series organizer is sick of them twonking it too hard. So we're going to restart.
I've got some context. So 4 cars went off according to Adam, who is our race organizer. That is what caused the red flag. That is... Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that must have been just off the back of our view into probably turn 3. Yeah, monumental carnage. Maybe even might have been the back end of the pack in turn 1. I'm sure we'll find out later from the drivers. Yeah, that was a big one. This is our first red flag of the season. We've made it into race 5 before we got one, which is quite impressive, I think, for this slot, getting all the way to race 5. The cars are back on the grid, so I'm sure we'll restart this race anytime soon. Don't worry, no one is out of the race. If they broke, they just fix the car and go again, as is the benefit of sim racing. That big red restart button in full effect, so no one actually DNFs. All 20 cars will be back on the grid for the race there. Dak Choi hopefully will be restored back up to where they deserve to be. I think the crash involved Adam, Ben Choi, Will Harris, Alex Hughes definitely lost a few places. Archie O'Leary on the timing sheet is in 15th, so he definitely got affected. So that will be sort of roughly where I'd expect it to be, somewhere around the 7th to 12th mark was where that crash was, based on the timing data I've got over here anyway.
Yeah, no, that is just absolute. Oh my gosh, I was expecting some sort of stoppage, like a yellow flag, but not a red flag like that. That is wow. If you could send me that timetable as well, that would be.
Yep, I will send you that during the race. Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully they reset. I'm assuming they will reset grid positions for race start. That's what tends to happen. So Dak Choi will not lose out after his turn 1 crash. He'll be right back at the front where he qualified, which means that, well, you've got to feel bad for Lorenzo. He got a pretty good start, got away pretty cleanly.
Who says he can't get another good start, right?
I mean, who says he can't? We've seen it before. The guy can start a Ginetta pretty well. It's just he's got to do it again, which is the problem. He's got to do it again in about 4 lights time here as we get ready for the second attempt at race 1 of the day here, Brno GP circuit. Let's try this again. BUSR is ready to go. Rock and roll. Let's go racing there. Wheel spinny start from Aiden Larson there. Immediately chops across to get behind Lorenzo. Defending that inside line. Maris Dallas in 3rd. John B behind. Dak Choi back up where he belongs. Off the grid. Archie O'Leary there. Trying to get on the inside for turns sort of 4, 5 and 6 there. Lots of battling going on. Lorenzo still leading as we come out of the big long turn 1 there. Car on the grass.
Is it a bit of deja vu?
Not sure who it is. Everyone's through cleanly there. I think that's John B just going off slightly there. Lorenzo still leading. Aiden having a look up the inside once again, just showing a nose. Maybe he's defending from behind. He's got to watch out for Maris Dallas behind there. Thomas Hughes clean through there. Most of the mid-pack appears to have got through turn 3 clean. We are on for a full race.
Here we go, Sector 2 as well, still looking at the front of the pack. We've got action on all these shifting places. We have a brief car that seems to have went off track but rejoined around there. We're heading into the middle of Sector 2. We got 2 more cars off track. Who was that? Goodness gracious. I doubt I don't know if are we going to get another red flag for that? Who knows? Back onto Aiden and Lorenzo, followed by Maris Dallas and Archie O'Leary going into the final part of the section here. This is just incredible. I think that was, I don't know if that was Ben Choi and Beam Tran. They're at the bottom of the pack. I'm not sure who might have crashed there. We might get some context on that later on. Action now shifting here towards the back of the pack. We got Adam Bench in 11th place, just on that outskirt. We got another spin out. It was that bright livery as well, and I think another car was involved in that. It might have been that wasn't Being Tran, was it? I don't know. But yes, we've got much more carnage. That was Sam Knight, it appears, who has dropped all the way down to 9th place. Will Harris, we've got action on here as well in that Hello Kitty livery. And goodness gracious, we haven't even finished a single lap yet. Lorenzo Gualtieri and Aiden Larson still battling it out, going into that last bit of track into turn 14, just coming out of it. It's going to be possibly a side-by-side if Larson can catch Gualtieri. That is, we have the first lap.
Yes, I do. I'm just checking the timings there. I believe it was Vien Tran and Ben Choi that got involved in that crash that we saw, and then Sam Knight unfortunately had a spin. He is running currently in 20th place. All the cars still running. Lorenzo is running away with it at the lead. Got a monster gap of nearly a whole second there off at the front there. We see our top four maybe starting to pull away from John B and Thomas Hughes behind. We start to see packs form. Not really a surprise given the nature of this circuit. It's a difficult circuit to navigate. So yeah, we might be seeing the start of a pack here, but definitely a lot, well, I say a lot cleaner. It's slightly cleaner than it was before. There's a car spinning off in the background, someone rapidly dropping down the order there. That is Eric Einerson, I believe, who has gone off hard into the wall somewhere at the top.
Crash with Ben Choi as well, it looks like.
Yeah, another crash with Ben Choi just coming through there. This is a disaster of a race for Ben Choi. Not really having their day here. Archie O'Leary, looking at the inside of Maris Dallas, thinks better of it, just keeping behind there, not trying to throw any moves that would cause any problems. Aiden Larson is looking to be on a quicker lap there. Vien Tran also appears to have gone off at some point around the circuit there. Yep. Those two guys not having the best of time today. We're seeing quick sectors all over the board here because it's only the second lap, so the timing sheets aren't really representational here. Kessus on the back of Thomas Hughes having a little nibble up the inside, thinks better of it. We've definitely got a split forming there between Kessus and Alex Hughes behind in that green car. Now as we come towards the end of lap 2, not quite there just yet, but it's definitely a lot of stuff happened in the first couple laps.
Yeah, exactly. And just to note, Aiden Larson once again going purple on Sector 2 as we saw in the qualifying as well. That might be some sort of indication that he is able to catch up to Lorenzo Gualtieri. It might take a couple of laps for him to do so. We have action back on Archie O'Leary as he's going side by side with Maris Dallas going into the next lap. Is he going to go ahead? Still side by side. It looks like Archie's going to pass. Is there going to be a defensive move? Archie is still trying to hold off Maris Dallas here as Gualtieri was purple in Sector 3 as well. They are going to go into the next couple of turns. Excellent move by Archie O'Leary to take the podium, although this fight might not be over yet. They're coming into the next set of turns on the edge of Sectors 1 and 3. Aiden Larson going purple in Sector 1 as well as they are heading into the... Oh my goodness gracious, they're heading into turn number 5. A little bit of a side out there by Maris Dallas. A little bit of a fall might make up a couple of seconds here. Is there going to be a move on this battle? John B is taking some time to catch up in this pack as well, as Maris Dallas is on the tail of O'Leary. And a little bit of skid there. I don't know if that was a defensive move or if that was a crash or something. We do have a crash here. We've got Eric Einerson, Tim Masson, and Sparky involved in a crash somewhere on track. Goodness gracious, it's only lap 3, guys. It's only lap 3.
Still got another 15 minutes plus 1 lap of this race, let alone the second one to go, and there is all sorts of stuff happening all up and down the grid there. Maris Dallas currently running in 5th. Little look up the inside for Kessus on Thomas Hughes. I fear this is a when kind of move, not an if kind of move for the white car on one of the Hughes family members there. just, yeah, there's definitely breaks looking. If you look at the track map, we can start to see some gaps sort of forming. Lorenzo and Aidan Larson, though, are still very much nose to tail there. The Australian and his rival Lorenzo going through the last couple of corners to complete the lap. We've already had 6 minutes of racing, and we've still got another 13 minutes and 44 seconds to go. This has been thrilling so far, but let's see if we're going to get a battle for the lead. The gap is well under half a second now. Fastest lap of the race coming in for Aidan Larson. He's showing his absolute pace right now to try and make it past Lorenzo. Needs that win to make up for the lack of points. Well, no points scored in Sonoma. Was a no-show there. Lorenzo walked away with race 1 win there. He needs these points for his championship.
In that last section, too, Aidan Larson went purple on both sections 1 and 3. Still going nose to tail. It's going to be quite a few laps, but Lorenzo is showing some defensive prowess as they're going around the next couple of turns. I will say there are a couple of crashes at the back half, but we got to focus on this first part of the action here as well, as we've got action now to Thomas Hughes, who is nose to tail with Kessis trying to make up a position here. Kessis trying to hold him off. They're going to go into the next turn, possibly side by side. If there's going to be a move, now would be the time to do so. And still nose to tail. Is this going to be a side by side? Again, looking for a potential 2 wide. A little bit of a skid out there on that turn as well. There are several lines to take as well, and we can see the variations as well, and it seems like they may lose control, but at the same time it could be strategic as well. It could be something on my part that's just not, just not knowing what to do. And Thomas, I don't know what happened there. Possibly a bit of lag. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say there.
This has definitely been a challenging race circuit. The organisers have really hand-picked these tracks to emphasise driver skill here. Aidan Larson has dropped massively back from our race leader there. Had what looks to be alright timing in sector 1 and sector 2, so must have happened in sector 3 for the Australian man to fall quite that far behind his rival. We'll have to see if we can find out about that later on in the broadcast or post-race, but definitely something not going well for him now. The gap over 4 seconds, which is, you've got to think, is going to be difficult without a very strong resurgence for Aidan to recoup, as he's now got to start worrying almost about Archie O'Leary behind, who is suddenly quite a bit closer there. Yeah, 3 and a bit seconds down in sector 3 for Aidan Larson is going to be the cause of that. Archie O'Leary, though, is putting a hammer down there in 3rd place. That Liverpool car is going to be, well, Aidan Larson suddenly appeared in his windscreen. He's going to be thinking he's got a chance here.
Yeah, no, and to take over a racer like Aidan Larson would definitely be quite an accomplishment as well. It would definitely get some of the endorphins flowing into the brain as well. And yeah, Aidan Larson on sector 3 over a minute, very much going red. Must have been a crash on around there, as Archie O'Leary is still looking back. We've got action on Maris Dallas. John B, a little bit of a skid. Maris Dallas might be able to make up the position as well. They finished 3rd place in the qualifying, so if there's a time to make a move, it is now. And it looks like for the time being, there's a couple of right-hand turns, and Maris Dallas making the move. A little bit of contact corner to corner, and Maris Dallas seems to be holding, but that is a very questionable contact there. Aidan Larson going purple again on sector 2 as well. We've still got more action here with Maris Dallas, who is trying to get back that time after the contact as well. It looked like they had that position locked up, but it's still not over yet. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Definitely cracking racing here from this sort of battle for the back end of the podium positions. Very late on the brakes for Maris Dallas. Lucky not to run to the back of John B there. Good thing they could pull that car out of the slipstream to avoid a rear end collision. They're coming up towards one of the very tight turns here at Brno GP circuit, a cracking track for motorbikes, and very interesting for Ginetta as it turns out as well. Kessis now seems to have got in on this fight there because of the bickering ahead. He's managed to catch right up with Thomas Hughes coming along for the ride. We've now got a 4-car battle for 4th place here. John B leading from Maris Dallas, then Kessis, then Thomas Hughes there in that dark blue and white car there. Move up the inside for Kessis on Maris Dallas coming through the last corner. What a move to take 5th place.
Woo! Yeah, no, that's good. I think there might have been some bumper-to-bumper contact right there, going side by side into this next corner. We might be seeing a 3 wide. I think we got a crash. Maris Dallas with in a crash with Thomas Hughes, or at least contact here. This is incredible stuff right now. Oh my goodness gracious. They might be going 3 wide into sector 2. Could you imagine that? Still action here side by side with a third wheel trying to get some advantage out here, forced to take the outside line. And we've got contact there as well with Kessis and Maris Dallas. And that battle may have ended right there. Goodness gracious. Still a battle. Oh no, still a battle. Maris Dallas and Thomas Hughes still going at it into the middle of sector 2. Is there going to be another move? This has been a very tumultuous race for Maris Dallas, given all the points gained and lost already in the short running. We still have 8 minutes left to go. Even though we're more than halfway through this race, it feels like eternities have passed.
Definitely then. It seems to be in the way that this Ginetta series is going that there's a Hughes where a Hughes arguably shouldn't be because they've just kept it clean. Maris Dallas, they're spinning out into the wall. That car is not having a good day. Maybe it's got the damage that we don't know about. That was a pretty hefty front-on collision there for Maris Dallas. Knocks them down even further now. Was running as high as 4th, now is down to 8th place. Jordan Pinnock is behind that car there in the white, looking at the inside, having a think about it. I mean, you might as well. Maris Dallas is evidently a little bit shaken by that carnage of his last couple laps there. Now Jordan thinking about a move. We've not seen too much of them so far this evening, but here they are making an impression on the race there. 7.5 minutes to go. We're over halfway, but man, it feels like it's been a lifetime.
Yeah, no, and it's just on that line, how dare you? But no, there's still a lot of potential left for this next 7 minutes, as well as we're getting some of the lap times in here as well for the front half of the pack. Still action here on Jordan Pinnock. Maris Dallas still in front here, as we've got a bit of a line going into turn 1 once again, and I think we got ourselves a PB here for Jordan Pinnock. That means he must be making up some time here on Maris Dallas. A little shaken up still, but there is a method of improvement, it seems, here with Jordan Pinnock as they're going into the next set of turns here. This is a good race here.
Definitely a one to remember for Jordan Pinnock, who's setting PBs all over the place, going quicker and quicker and quicker, and is now going right, well, hell for leather to get past Maris Dallas. Knows that Maris Dallas is currently short, trying to make those moves, keep the line short. Maris Dallas on the grass coming out of that corner, but keeps it running in the correct direction. Now, as we see, well, yeah, there's definitely a gap behind forming, so Jordan Pinnock has nothing to worry about in terms of defending lines. He just needs to focus on getting past Maris Dallas. Then maybe even thinking about getting past one of the Hugheses or even Kessers up ahead. Just a word on that front pack. The front two, the gap is not really shrinking. This appears to be Lorenzo's race to lose, but right now we're focusing on the battle for 8th and 9th here. Jordan Pinnock in that white car with the text down the side against Maris Dallas in the green car here. Maris Dallas definitely been a performer in previous races, got many podiums and high points, not having the best of days. As we see, there's a kind of pack forming, well, it's been forming for the last few laps now, and very much solidified itself for 4th down to about, now it's down to about 9th with Jordan Pinnock joining in there. Lots of drivers thinking, right, I just need a couple more tenths of pace and then I can get past the car ahead.
Yeah, and Maris Dallas, if I can add as well, is much better of a performer in race 2 in both weeks so far. In race 1, they finished 8th place at Olten. Race 2, it was 3rd at Olten, and at Sonoma, outside of the top 10 in race 1. Race 2, they came all the way back to 5th place. So there's definitely something going on with, being a second race driver more so, as it looks like Aiden Larson might be gaining a little bit of time by the looks of it. He's gone back down past 3 seconds on the gap, going into the next section of track, and a little bit of a bump there, but we've got less than 5 minutes left of race. Action still on Aiden Larson going into sector 2. He needs to get another purple here if he wants to catch back up to Lorenzo Gualtieri. Looking back at Dachkoy with 10th place and Alex Hughes in 7th in that green livery there. It's quite nice. We're shifting all over the place. Goodness gracious. Maris Dallas trying to catch back up to Alex Hughes. Gain back one more position. And Aiden Larson, it looks like, has gone purple as well on sector 1. He is gaining a bunch of time back here. The gap is still sizable. And as you said before, it's Lorenzo's race to lose as well. Maris Dallas less than a second behind. Alex Hughes trying to keep to that line. And it looks like it's working out successfully so far. Might be a couple turns before they try to make a move on our boy Alex here. But goodness, it's just action all over the place.
Definitely, yeah. Aiden Larson trying to close the gap as best as he knows how, but I think it's just going to be unsurmountable. But that's not important right now. We're watching the battle for, well, it's not quite reverse grid pole position, but just remember Dak Choi currently in the best seat for our second race of the day there. 10th place and pretty happy with it there. Doesn't appear to be closing up for Jordan Pinnock too much, therefore probably going to score the points down to 15th overall, but of course there are class points on offer as well there. The Maris Dallas has not really had the best of showings so far today. Yeah, like you said, hopefully they'll be able to improve, get that nice sort of front row, second row start, and then go from there. Jordan Pinnock, though, is having one of the best races we've seen from that car so far, currently on reverse grid, front row, 9th place in the race. Maris Dallas now definitely going to be looking to make a move. Alex Hughes there going across the track, get the slipstream down towards turn 1. Will we see a move here from Maris Dallas? Looks to go around the outside onto the brakes, flinging it around the outside, way too much outside line there, not enough of a grip difference to make the move, so just has to slot back into 8th place there behind Alex Hughes. We're going to have another move up into the left-hander of turn 3 there for the neon green car on the British Racing Green. Maris Dallas up the inside on the brakes. This is going to be move sealed if they can keep it on the track. Don't think there was any contact. Keeps it through. A little bit of contact here.
It appears to be. There was contact.
Contact.
Yeah, if there wasn't contact before, there certainly was contact now, and it looks like Jordan Pinnock is going to capitalize off that. An easy 7th place as Maris Dallas and Alex Hughes dropping down to 9th and 10th place for the time being, as there's actually a chance for Adam Bent to take over into the top 10. Less than a second there. Jordan Pinnock in 8th place now, a second behind Dachkoy, who is now in 7th. That kind of helps out Maris Dallas and Alex Hughes a little bit for the next race, but it's not really good in the points for race number 1, as we're still focusing here on Jordan Pinnock. Nice way to get out of the way here, as we're looking now at Kesses behind Thomas Hughes in 6th place, battling for 5th. We've got less than 2 minutes going into a minute and a half left of this race here at Brno. It is, goodness, I'm not sure if we have the places set in stone, as it looks like Will Harris has just taken over 11th place as well over Adam Bent. They might be battling it out in some section of the track here.
Yeah, it's looking like this race is coming alive with probably this lap and then one more after it to go. This is a +1 lap race, so even if the clock hits 0, he's still got one more lap to start and finish there. Kessers is doing quite well for what we saw earlier on now, just sitting behind Thomas Hughes, 0.3 of a second back on that car. You've got to be thinking they're running out of chances to make moves. They've got 2 laps to go. The clock will run out and then +1. So Lorenzo Gualtieri appears to have this race pretty much wrapped up. The gap's now up to 4 seconds. Evidently there's just some pace in that car we don't know about. But here's a battle for 11th and 12th. Will Harris and Adam Bent going nose to tail through turn 1. Adam Bent, series organizer, the man in charge of this whole thing. He is very, very skilled at Assetto Corsa, but just not quite found the pace today to get into the top 10 and score those points.
Hasn't really had a notable finish, as well as Will Harris has gone purple through section 1. He might even try to target 10th place if at all possible. The gap is less than 2 seconds, so that +1 does work out. Adam Bent had gone green through that section as well, as both cars going onto the grass as well, but they both catch their footing back on into section 3, I think. Goodness, no, that's section 2. I might be, oh, we got a spin out here from Alex Hughes as well in that green British livery. Oh my gosh, Will Harris has just been gifted 10th place. So now this battle is going to essentially be for pole between Harris and Bent going into the next couple of turns here. Is Bent going to make a move here on Harris? Not sure. They're going into the next turn 12 here. Oh my goodness, they might be going side by side. If Adam's got any chance here to make a move, he needs to seize that, especially with turns 13 and 14 being back to back. He's got to pick a line and just hope that Harris doesn't predict it as efficiently here. Going into the next turn, looks like Oh, he's going to get held off a little bit there. But is he going to make a move, potentially on the inside here? Tries to go for it, and I don't know if there was contact here. Doesn't appear to have been, but going into Gualtieri on the last lap as well. So it should be this lap and then another here, if the time permits it, as we've gone into overtime now.
Yep, leader is on the final lap. Lorenzo has just got sectors 2 and 3 to go, but we're focusing on the battle for reverse grid pole position, so this really matters. One of these drivers will be starting in the chaos of the mid-pack. One of them will be leading us away for race 2 a little bit after, only about 5 minutes after race 1 ends, so realistically about 10 minutes time they will be starting the next one. Adam Bent there chasing down, got 9th place in race 1 at Sonoma, therefore started in 2nd ahead of, well, I don't remember who it was, but it was certainly someone like Will Harris. So these guys know what each others are like to race. They've been in the same sort of track for a lot of the rest of the season. Now coming towards turn 3, key overtaking opportunity for Adam, just too far back to have a look. Keeps the line smooth, tries to make up time where he can, get his Ginetta all up in the mirrors of the car ahead. This is a very important battle. There are points on the line for both places, but you cannot forget that pole position pressure coming through. The gap at the front is well over 5 seconds now. That is race signed, sealed and delivered for Lorenzo. Podium looks to be pretty well set. There's still some messing around going around in the back of the field, but we're focusing right now on Adam, who is looking at making a move but can't quite do it. Maybe the presence of Eric Einarsson behind is just putting him off.
I mean, if there is any sort of contact between Will and Adam, I guarantee you Eric's going to capitalize, especially on a major crash, and they're going into the back half of Sector 2 as well. Still nose to tail here for Adam Bent. He is trying to make up every last bit of time. I haven't had much of a chance to look at the sections here, but it looks like Adam has had the better lap so far. They've been about the same. The gap is closing in here. It's about half a second here as Lorenzo Gualtieri crosses the line with another first place. Congrats to him. Aiden Larson coming in 2nd place, followed 15 seconds about behind by Archie O'Leary to round out the podium. Back to the battle here. Will Harris still trying to fight off Adam as well, going into the next section of the race. It's the back half here, going into the final turn. Who is going to take that 10th place? Is there going to be a move? Adam trying to go inside. It doesn't look like there's going to be, as Eric spins off into the side. Goodness gracious. So it looks like Will Harris is going to take 10th place as Adam Bent in 11th here. I believe that's it then. Eric Einarsson in 13th place to round it out. Oh my goodness, what a battle for 10th place there.
Definitely one to remember there. Eric Einarsson just decided to try and pit a little bit too early there, spears off, comes out in 13th place, with Alex Hughes being the one that took advantage of that. There's fighting all the way down the grid there as we see cars going 3 wide across the line there. No idea who took what places, but it was very thrilling as they did so. And now we just have our last couple of cars coming across the line, but that is the end. Pretty well, nearly, I'm not going to say the end just yet. There's still cars going around, but we see now just these drivers. Alex Hughes not quite able to make the top 10. Everyone's starting to peel back into the pit lane, which means the timing chart on the left may start to show some glitches. The Sam Knight comes around to nearly finish off the pack with 18th. Not a great racer in him. He knows he can do better, and I'm sure we'll see that going forward for the rest of the season there. Just one car to cross the line in 19th place to finish off race 1. That was quite an interesting set of laps from our drivers there.
Yeah, that's been quite the race here as well, especially the early fight as well as the mid shift as well. The fact that there was a red flag as well on this race, and we've still got one more to go through. But yeah, good battle there for Lorenzo and Aiden. I guarantee you they're going to be going at it again in the next race as well. Very well done by these two drivers as they head into the pit lanes. Archie behind them, as well as John B. Congratulations to all of our racers, especially, finishing. Don't think we had a DNF, did we?
I don't think there was anybody, well, definitely no one we saw DNF. So yeah, amazing race for everyone to finish that, which is a surprise given how much, but with the delay from the red flag for one. But Lorenzo Gualtieri takes race 1 of round 3 for the BUSR Winter Series. in a dominant fashion. Let's be honest, the gap was over 5 seconds when they got to the end of the race there. Aidan Larson just had nothing in response. He had to make one mistake, fell back, and then just slowly lost time. Little 10th here, 10th there, half a second there, whatever it was. It just was not his day, which means that now we see that the championship momentum is definitely still in Lorenzo's favour.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that second race in which he was down so far down, had to make up 14 positions just to try and get a crack at that race. He is making up for it in spades. So race 2 definitely going to be more of the same, I reckon. But absolutely cracking start to this Brno pair of races here.
Definitely. Just going to interrupt our lovely commentary here for a sponsor video from our title sponsor, well, series sponsor, Gridfinder. There you go. So yeah, if you want to get involved with any sort of sim racing, whether that's with BUSR or not, go and look at Gridfinder online and you could find a race to suit your car, your style, your track, your skill level. But yeah, if you're watching this, you think you want to get involved, then please do come and find us on Discord at BUSR. We'll be happy to have you. You can come and join. You can race in our Formula One series at the weekend. You can race in Assetto Corsa on Mondays or in iRacing throughout the week. We also do fun events with events for drivers of all skill levels. You can be Max Verstappen or Billy No Mates, Billy No Speed, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we'll find you a place. There'll be a home for you. And even a Nikita Mazepin has a home in the BUSR. So yeah, we'll be happy to have you if you want to get involved. Maybe your skills lies in commentary, broadcast managing, whatever it is, we'd love to have you. But looking forward now to our second race. Just got confirmation. It will be Will Harris on pole position ahead of, I think, Jordan Pinnock.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it should be Will Harris. I think Maris Dallas was 9th, and Jordan Pinnock, then Dutch Coy Kessis, Thomas Hughes, John B, Archie O'Leary, Aidan Lawson, Lorenzo Gualtieri. I think that should be the order, given I was able to keep track of who finished in what position. So just as far as what I've looked at here.
Yeah, so, that seems about right to me. I think we're going to see some monster starts from Lorenzo and Aidan. Let's just hope they can cut through the traffic cleanly. We don't end up with a repeat of Alton Park where Lorenzo gets punted off very early in the race and has to do even more work. As impressive as that was to watch, it's not really what you want to see for a championship fight. We want clean racing here. Rubbing is racing, but punting off is just demolition derby. And Ginetta's fiberglass space frame shack don't really suit punting off style racing. We want, close but not too close. So I think how they managed to get through.
Football, not for racing.
Definitely. Crashing is for American football, not for British sports cars. Punting is definitely American football. We don't want punting here. This is racing at the Brno circuit in Czechia. So it's going to be an interesting one going into the second race now. It's just sorting itself out, but not quite there yet. I'm thinking, I don't know who I'm going to predict for race 2, though. Looking at the timing sheets, Lorenzo's had the pace, but he's starting in 10th. Who am I kidding? I'm going to go with Lorenzo.
I mean, yeah, Lorenzo definitely has the potential for it. But if Lorenzo doesn't win it, I'm going to go out and say it's probably going to be Jordan Pinnock. We definitely did see quite a performance from him, albeit it was one that was overshadowed by quite a few battles, but he took advantage of a key battle that we saw between Alex Hughes and Maris Dallas to gain 2 positions. So if there is an advantageous racer with a good start, I would say it's Jordan Pinnock.
Definitely, I think he's one to watch. Definitely, particularly in the first half of the race. If there's a little bit of chaos, bit of not back marker, but traffic to deal with behind for our front running pair, then I think if he can pull a nice big gap, get up sort of 3, 4, 5 seconds clear, break any sort of slipstream, then he's definitely in with a shot of a class win, if not an overall win here. So of course there are 3 classes running. So you don't even have to be a student to race in the British University Sim Racing. You can be a recent alumni or even in the open class. So I think Jordan Pinnock is going to have a good chance now as we get ready for race 2 of the day here for round 3 of the BUSR Winter Series Brno GP circuit here. Let's get ready, rock and roll, let's go racing. 4 lights on the gantry. There they go, green flag, we are started. They're weaving in the background. Start there from Maris Dallas on the outside, looks to be very strong. Will Harris is now going 3 wide into turn 1. Jordan Pinnock, the driver we were just talking about, up the inside, going to maybe hold first place into turn 1.
He's got it.
Through Jordan Pinnock goes to take the race lead. Maris Dallas slotting in behind John B, then Archie O'Leary. Nightmare start for Will Harris there. There's contact up and down, but none of it appears to be too severe. As we see Lorenzo and Aiden are already making places up in the mid-pack now, down towards turn 3. We're 3 wide again in the mid-pack there. Lorenzo and Aiden having to keep it so careful. All contact there between Lorenzo and one of the Hughes cars, just keeping on the road there for all cars involved so far. There's a car on the grass, never mind. Commentator's curse immediately showing its face as we see Jordan Pinnock holding the lead. Maris Dallas looking at the inside, thinks better of it, but man, what a race start there. Will Harris there, leading positions. There's contact behind, big spin, car off, massive crash. 3 cars, 4 cars.
Yeah,
Maris Dallas involved. Archie O'Leary's involved. There's the car in the gravel backwards. That's Bien Tran. Bien Chu is involved. Eric Einerson getting rear-ended by Sparky. There's a car sideways in the middle of the road. Oh my gosh, I've got no idea what's going on. There's a car going around the. There's still a car in the middle. There's Will Harris, I think, is stationary somewhere in the middle of the lap. There's cars all over the place. All I know for certain is Jordan Pinnock is definitely still leading.
Yeah, and he went purple on both of the opening sectors. I honestly would not be surprised if we were to see a red flag in this race, as the timetable that we've got on the second screen here has just been absolutely having a seizure here. As we're taking a look, Lorenzo Gualtieri has gone up from 10th to 6th, now back down to 7th as he appears to be battling again with Aiden Larson. Doesn't matter where on the track they are. If these two are nearby one another, they're going to battle. Going into the next turn, Lorenzo gets the edge out on here. Still more contact near the back of the pack as well. Going into turn 13 after that long straightaway, Jordan Pinnock still has the lead, followed by Maris Dallas, Thomas Hughes, Kessis, John B, and here this battle here with Lorenzo and Aiden. And we've got a little bit of contact between those two. Oh my goodness, going into the last bit, it's still nose to tail. And Jordan Pinnock is going to claim a perfect 3 purple sectors as we are heading into lap 2 of this race. Goodness gracious, it's like we never left our first race here. Going into turn 1, making sure to be careful on that as well, as we've got 4 cars all in a line. Lorenzo and Aiden still battling it out. Less than 2 tenths separate these two absolute dynamos of racers going into the next couple of turns, as Lorenzo side by side with Aiden trying to fight off a move. And is Aiden going to take it? It looks like he might. No, he's going to get back down there. Thought about it at first, but decided, no, I'm not going to do it now. I've got to bide my time for a future move on here. Going into the next straightaway. Now, this might be a move here. Going on the outside of Lorenzo Gualtieri. Going into this right-hand turn. Maris Dallas has the purple sector. Maris Dallas takes over the lead, and we've got contact between Lorenzo and Aiden. Oh my goodness gracious. Contact again between these two. Maris Dallas has taken the lead ahead of Jordan Pinnock, as that lime green car is now in the lead. Goodness gracious, going into the next couple of sectors, Pinnock is down but not out. Thomas Hughes is still on the outside. If there's a major crash between those two, he could certainly take over the lead. Still a battle resuming now between Lorenzo and Aiden. Archie has taken back over 6th place from the two of them as well. Tim Mason and Sparky on the outside of the top 10 as well. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm not going to lose breath, am I, here? Going into the next couple of turns here, Aiden is still nose to tail with Lorenzo Gualtieri, who is nose to tail with Archie O'Leary. Going into sector 2. What move are we going to see here, potentially on Lorenzo or on Aiden? It looks like none for the time being. Going into the next turn, it is still the amount of time between Archie and between Aiden and Lorenzo is incredible here. Jordan now battling with Thomas Hughes, who is going to take over 2nd place, at least for the time being. Yes, he will, over Jordan Pinnock. Maris Dallas still holding the lead and gaining seconds here as the next lap is about to finish off. Maris Dallas with a purple lap as well. Kessis with a purple section, and John B with a purple section. It's just all over the place. Kessis taking a purple lap as well. Going into turn 1 of this next lap, Lorenzo still in between Archie and Aiden. Less than half a second separating in both cases here. Are we going to see another move? Let's take a look-see. It looks like Lorenzo gaining on Archie here into the next section here. Is it going to go side by side? Might make a move on the outside. No, he is not, at least not for now. He is trying to get every last bit of grip on that track here, going into the next set of turns into section 2. This battle has been going on for eons, and I love it.
What an amazing piece of racing. We went to these cars fighting behind them. We don't care. We're focusing on what is the battle for the championship in 6th and 7th. As we see the championship leaders are nose to tail behind Archie O'Leary, who has got to be defending for his life from these two cars, hoping that they just keep tangling. We saw that contact just a few minutes ago between these two. They've come together before. They're going to do it again, but let's hope it's not too severe or in this race, because right now I am more than happy to watch these tiny little gaps just sort of sit there around the 0.2, 0.3 mark as these cars go. Notice that there's a little bit of contact between them, nothing too severe, nothing to worry about, just a little bumping there. We don't want too much bumping, but a little bit of bumping is just about okay on such a tight, twisty track there. Lorenzo really close to Archie O'Leary there.
This is our podium from last place as well. Lorenzo jumping out in front. He might make a move here on this next turn here, going side by side. It was a nice little cheeky one. Oh, goodness gracious. We've got Aiden catching up as well. It looked like there was contact, but it looks like for the time being there wasn't. These three cars are nose to tail in a conga line of possible death at the slightest mistake going into the final couple of turns into the straightaway. It is still Archie O'Leary in 6th, Lorenzo in 7th, Aiden in 8th place. Is there going to be a move on this straightaway? It looks like not for the time being, but it is just absolute carnage between these three cars, as there's been a crash as well somewhere else on the track, as Lorenzo is going to make a move. He's going to pass Archie O'Leary, and they just changed places in that conga line as well. Aiden going off track into the grass as well. And now Archie's going to try and overtake Lorenzo again. This is going to be into the next turn. Who's going to make it out of it? It looks like it could be Lorenzo. No, Archie is getting every last bit of grip. But a nice move to defend there from Lorenzo Gualtieri going into the next turn. It is still nose to tail between these three cars. It is just a change of positions between Lorenzo and Archie, who are still going at it, with Aiden just biting at their rears.
This is the best racing we could possibly ask for. This is what makes race 2 so incredible, is you have drivers forced closer together by the simple fact they didn't qualify. Well, they qualified a different place to where they started the race, because of course reverse grid rules. Kessler's now up into 3rd, bottom of the podium, but looking to make a move. Maris Dallas is pulling away ahead, well up above the 3 second mark, nearly 3.5 now for that car. But right now there's a battle going on here. Aiden Larson's going to make a move up on the inside of Archie O'Leary here, going down the hill towards what I think is probably turn 10, I don't know. It's a turn. They're going around the right hand corner up the inside.
And he's going to overtake.
Just a little bit of a bump there, but nothing too awful. Both cars making it through cleanly. Aiden seeing Lorenzo get past these. All right, then I'll have a go, and makes it work. We're under 12 minutes to go now. We're nearly halfway through this race, and Lorenzo and Aiden have made surprisingly little progress from their starting positions of 10th and 9th.
Archie skidded. He went off track, so for the moment he appears to be down and out of this battle, as it is now Lorenzo and Aiden in the order that they finished. We got a battle as Dachkoy is trying to take advantage of this spot. Archie trying to claim that spot back in the last couple of turns of this lap, but it looks like Dachkoy is going to take it here, unless somehow there can be a slipstream right here. Lorenzo takes purple in the lap, going across the line. It is still Archie and Dachkoy going neck and neck. What's going to happen at turn 1? It looks like, oh goodness, Dachkoy is going to take the inside line, but it looks like a great move by Archie to take the outside line and the position of 8th for now. And now a battle. Kess is getting involved with the top 2 of Lorenzo and Aiden of last race in 5th and 6th place respectively. Less than half a second. He is gaining massive amounts of time on these past laps. He had a couple purple sections previously. As going into the next section of this race, it is going to be nose to tail once again, as any last mistake here is going to spell certain doom. Aiden Larson, just absolutely, he must be tense right now with a car in front, a car behind. He had so much time there with one one in front, one behind. Not as much as Archie, though, as they're going into the next turn. It looks like the gap might be just spreading out just a little bit, but Cassis is in the rearview mirror and is approaching quickly here, going into the next set of turns here. Marisdal is still with the lead, about 5 seconds, 4.5 ahead of Thomas Hughes. John B managed to get a position on Jordan Pinnock as well, as we've still got action with Aiden Lawson still trying to fight for that top 5 spot of Lorenzo Gualtieri. And it's interesting, between these two battling it out as well, they are gaining places while battling. That is something you see from a true racer, as Aiden slightly goes onto the grass there as well. The very fact that they are battling it out and they are still gaining time on the lead as well is just, it speaks volumes about these two. It absolutely speaks volumes as they're going into the next straightaway. Could Aiden potentially take advantage of a slipstream and get past Lorenzo? Lorenzo trying to fight him off and successfully defending into the next lap, going across the line into turn 1. As Aiden appears to have set a purple lap, he just wants blood. He is out for vengeance. He had a purple sector 3, absolutely incredible. He is not going to let off of that throttle going into the next set of turns. Going into turn 4, still behind Lorenzo. He needs to make a move. At what point does he do it? It's going to be a close little setup over here. Going into sector, goodness gracious, I can't speak, sector 2. Still nose to tail. They're still gaining. Kessis has lost the plot behind the two of them at this point. And it's just, this is the battle we were looking for. This is the battle we have spoken so much hype about between Lorenzo and Aiden. These two racers are absolutely goated, especially when taking on each other. And it looks like Adam Bent has crashed with the environment. That's actually
Yeah, this is definitely the fight for the championship in action. You know, we've seen it in all forms of motorsport, had those iconic driver battles of pairing Senna and Prost, Schumacher and Alonso, Hamilton and Rosberg. This is another one here between Aiden and Lorenzo. They're currently fighting for 5th and 6th, but realistically, they don't really care where they come overall. All they care about is beating each other. That's what matters to them right now, is getting those points up on each other. They have got ballast on. Don't forget, this is a ballast series. They've both done well. They're both going to be running ballast. But even still, you wouldn't know it given their sheer pace. Maris Dallas has pulled out a quite substantial lead at the front there. It's now over 5 seconds before this gaggle of cars behind, being led by Thomas Hughes, John B, Jordan, and then the two cars we're focusing on right now are closing up rapidly to the back of that pack. So I expect we'll see some moves now in this battle in a race. Well, this battle for the championship. It's too early to be calling it for the title overall, but definitely looking to set up a battle going towards the final few rounds there. Lorenzo getting a whopping run on Jordan Pinnock coming out of that turn. Now he can be thinking about making a move up the inside, on an absolute barnstorming of a lap up the inside for Lorenzo. Nice and clean, keeps it tidy on the brakes, running a shorter inside line. Aiden Larson now, and that is Jordan's coming back at him, and then he starts to run out of the grass. Tries to hold it. Is he okay? Yes, he's made it through safely there. Jordan Pinnock just about keeping it on the road, can't keep up with Lorenzo, gets mugged by Aiden Larson in the process. Still looking at the inside of the turn 3 though. You've got to admire the effort from Pinnock. It's clean, we're okay, we're fine. Sorry about that pause there. We're still side by side between these two on the run down to turn 5
and Jordan
there.
has taken it for now. It looks like going into the next turn, there's someone between Lorenzo and Aiden, so that could be very chaotic. We saw that with Archie O'Leary. We're seeing it with Jordan Pinnock right now as the gaps are closing in. Jordan Pinnock is now back down in 6th place. Aiden Larson wants Lorenzo, and I think there was a little bit of contact here going around that corner. There was, but nothing too major as they're going into the next couple of turns. Lorenzo and Aiden are rapidly gaining on the battle between John B and Thomas Hughes for 2nd place. This is an absolutely incredible race as there's a big hit of contact and Aiden has gone off the track after a side swipe by Jordan Pinnock. I don't know, that had to have been accidental, I assume. But going in now, Aiden Larson, or no, wait, that wasn't Aiden Larson, was it? Who was that?
Wasn't. Yeah, Aiden got punted wide by Jordan Pinnock, and then Jordan let him by. Knew he'd done wrong there, saving himself from the pain of a penalty post-race. Aiden there, that is catastrophic, really. I mean, we say catastrophic, it's over 4th and 5th and 6th. But still, there, Lorenzo now up and right on the back of the podium places, whereas Aiden's still got a whole car and a few seconds gap there. We see Lorenzo is right behind John B in that slipstream down the main straight. You've got to think he's going to try another move up the inside into turn 1. Seems to be a favourite of his. Done it a couple of times so far today. Look at how close those two cars are. They are nose to tail over the line. The gap well under 2/10. They're into the first turn, up the inside. Easy move for Lorenzo there. Sweeps through to get back onto the podium there. What a drive from this man. He's got to be driver of the day for me so far. Let's hope we can keep it on the road as we come into the last quarter of the race now. Thomas Hughes, the car ahead for Lorenzo. The gap is probably going to start shrinking now. Lorenzo has been in a bit of traffic, so his lap times aren't completely on pace, but if he starts putting in 2:04s, he'll catch up Thomas Hughes before we know it.
Aiden Larson isn't done either. He's just gone purple again in Sector 1. He wants Lorenzo. I can tell you right now, he's got Kessis and John B in front, and the combined amount of time in front is just a second and a half, so he could overtake those two easily and set up another climactic battle with Lorenzo Gualtieri. Going into the next couple of turns here, he wants to go outside, wants to go inside, decides to go outside, decides against the move at the last second here, going into the next couple of turns here. Still behind, being very patient here against Cassis and John B. He has been gaining a lot of time. Lorenzo now purple on section 2 as well. He clearly wants a bit of Thomas and Maris Dallas. Ben Shoy has crashed as well. Sorry for that stray there. But yes, Aiden Larson still behind Cassis and John B. Little bit of patience here. He's trying to take the optimal line. He might be going nose to tail again with somebody. He is biding his time. He might make a move. Who knows here? It's a bit risky with 3 cars nose to tail like this, as a little bit of a battle between John and Kessis. Could Aiden possibly take advantage of it and get both places side by side? Might be 3 wide. Going into the straightaway in turns 13 and 14. Aiden is going to briefly overtake. Is he going to get both of them? He might. He's got at least one. Going into turn 14, he has taken a place back. He could easily overtake John B on this first turn of the next lap with a nice little swipe like the one we saw from Lorenzo. He is going ahead using that slipstream. Slight bit of contact, but he gets that place and gets a purple lap out of it. Goodness gracious, what a lap, and what a nice couple of sequences from Aiden Larson. And it's not done yet. John B taking advantage of that slipstream, but is the defense going to be enough? Brief bit of contact there as well. They've gone 2 wide into the next couple of turns here. Aiden holding on to 4th place. And he is eager to keep John out of his rearview mirror. John is using every last bit of slipstream in order to catch back up. Kessis has not lost sight of it either, as another crash could mean another couple of positions here. Going in. Oh, I don't know if there was contact, and he's gone off track. He's gone off track again. Another bit of contact here. This time with Jordan Pinnock again. This time unfortunate as Aiden Larson. Oh no, he's lost down a couple places. He's in 9th.
I think that's his 3rd or 4th contact of the race for Aiden Larson. This is an absolute nightmare scenario from him. I'm sure the stewards will be looking at all of these incidents afterwards. Just a word on our race leader, Maris Dallas. Currently, just a casual 7 seconds clear up the front there. Not really much going on in his race. He's just running away happily. I'm sure we'll speak to him later on, and he won't even know any of this chaos happening at all. Lorenzo, though, is looking at Thomas Hughes. For all of the bad luck of Aiden Larson, Lorenzo is having the best luck of the day. He's 0.3 seconds behind 2nd place, which is pretty good going for starting in 10th place. Maris Dallas obviously started near the front and has converted that. Lorenzo started in 9th and is now, 10th, is now up to 3rd place, looking on the inside into turn 13. Is he going to be later on the brakes? Not enough to get by. Probably biding his time for a turn 1 move, let's be honest. Through the last pair of corners now, Thomas Hughes has got to be thinking this is last gasp kind of defending. We're on to the penultimate lap of the race. He's up the inside, going for it now. Is he going to make the move? Probably so. He's ahead before we've even reached the braking point. Later on the brakes, up the inside. Signed, sealed and delivered for Lorenzo. Can he hold Thomas Hughes out wide enough to a compromise? There he goes through into 2nd place. That is probably the end of his race in terms of moves. We've got 2 laps to go of this race. 40 seconds plus 1 lap. Oh, he's having another look.
Yeah, Thomas,
he's having a think about it. It's not race done now. He's not had a chance to pull away. Their sector times pretty close through the last little bit of the circuit. Not much in it. only 2 laps to go. I don't know why I keep repeating that. You all know it at home. There's 2 laps to go. I'd say it one more time there. The gap still under half a second between these two. Aiden Larson's recovered back up to 7th already. He is going to be grumpy, let's just say it like that there. I'm sure he won't be. He's a very calm guy, but it's not been the best of days. But if we're looking at Lorenzo, who has won race 1, is going to be on the podium if you ignore any issues for race 2 there. The clock has hit 0. We have officially got confirmation now that it is 2 laps to go. 7 seconds is our lead. There's more carnage behind us as Archie O'Leary gets in contact there. We're not going to see that, but it definitely happened. Lorenzo, though, has driven an absolutely stellar race. You have to say this is the drive of a champion.
At this point, it's just a glorified victory lap as Kessis is trying to get 4th place from John B going into the next section. It might not be enough for a move necessarily here. Got to time the brakes quite right, but holding that inside line is John B going into that next couple of corners here. Is there going to be enough space to potentially overtake in this overtime lap? Goodness, I'm not sure if we're going to have that. Well, actually, no, we've got 2 laps left. I made the same mistake you did. They're going into the straightaway here, so optimal slipstream could use it here and get a move on John B. No, it's going to be a bit more biding of time here as he just remains behind John going into here. Another crash there, goodness gracious. Going into the straightaway, leader Maris Dallas is on the final lap. An unfortunate race 1, but Maris Dallas has a 6-second gap over Lorenzo Gualtieri. And yeah, like I said before, Maris Dallas is a second race driver. So, and we've seen it here based on the advantage of the pole position, just taking the lead from the get-go and not looking back. Kessis and John B still going at it, but John B's starting to pull away quite a bit. Lorenzo is gaining a few seconds here on Maris Dallas. Maybe that's just for brownie points, I would assume.
I mean, yeah, they're just having fun now, aren't they? They've got 1 lap to go. There's still people racing there for positions, but really it is signed, sealed and delivered from Maris Dallas, who's kind of let off the throttle recently. His last lap was substantially slower than Lorenzo, but the gap is so big, I'm not sure he really needs to worry. He's just got to focus on keeping the car on the road, which Kessis is struggling to do there, putting it wide on the gravel. This is the battle for 4th and for 5th place, so not a podium, but still big points. If any of these drivers are here for the long run, here for the championship, this will really matter to them to get these points, overall points, all class points. I'm not quite sure what class these 2 cars are in, but certainly overall points are on the line here. The gap down under a second now, very clearly they are nose to tail, nothing in it at all there. Going to make a move at the inside of the next corner. Let's have a wait and see. They're nose to tail in the slipstream, gaining speed, thinks about the move, dives, doesn't quite make it, too late on the brakes for their own good there. Good avoidance by Kessis to keep it clean there. That's what we like to see, learning how to keep it clean and not run into the car ahead, which seems to be a problem with this lot, but I'm sure they'll figure it out over the season now. Coming into the last sector of this thrilling second race here, round 3. Remember, this is round 3. There are still 5 more rounds to go to finish off this wonderful season. There's so many more chances for different drivers to win, especially race 2 specialists like Maris Dallas, who just come here and knock it out of the park. Here he is. They are coming across the line to take race 2 of the day at Brno GP circuit for the BUSR Winter Series. It's a race win for Maris Dallas. 2nd place for our driver of the day, Lorenzo Gualtieri. What a day, 1 and 2 in the 2 races there. Thomas Hughes brings it home to finish the podium ahead of John B. Kessis. Couldn't quite find a way. Jordan Pinnock, great start, a little bit of carnage, finished in 6th. Archie O'Leary managed to dodge a lot of the problems that could have involved Dakoy, and then 9th place for Aiden Larson, who sets the fastest lap on the last lap there. That will get him some bragging, some pride there. Eric Anderson, there he is, brings it across the line in 10th place to complete your top 10. There are points down to 15th, so these next positions still matter. That is Sparky coming across the line in 11th. Ben Choi in that wonderfully livery car, not seen much of them on the broadcast since qualifying, is going to get points though in that number 69 car to bring it home in 12th place. That is a very nice result for them as they come across the line. Adam Bent there, nose to tail with Will Harris across the line.
Again.
For 13th and 14th, those guys just cannot leave each other alone. Vien Tran coming across the line next, and that is your final race result. Maris Dallas with the race win there. The gap massively dropped towards the end of the race, but he was just managing at that point. Tim Masson coming across the line to finish off your points scoring finishes. Alex Hughes is the next one across the line. There we go. Caleb Tate, not the best of weekends for him, well, days for him, but still happy to be here, I'm sure. Comes across home. There we go. That is nearly all of the cars home. We've just got Sam Knight running around there at the back. Not a good day for him at all. As we finished the racing off there with a race win for Maris Dallas ahead of Lorenzo Gualtieri and Thomas Hughes to round out your race 1 podium. Race 2 podium. It was race 2.
Yeah, that was just race 2. Oh my goodness gracious. I am frothing at the mouth from how much I have had to comment there, but absolutely cracking. I thought race 1 was going to be the pinnacle there, but didn't even matter where in the pack that Lorenzo, Aiden, and Archie were. It was just a battle, just 3-3-3 all around there. Just great stuff there.
Definitely great racing. I really enjoyed watching that. We're seeing some donuts here from Maris Dallas. That's how we like to finish off. Race win, do some donuts. Love that from the green car there. Well, I'm sure they are going to be buzzing with their results across the weekend there. But yes, that is it. We've had both of our races. We're going to get some drivers in for interviews soon, learn a little bit more, see what they thought of the circuit. Yeah, it's an interesting track. Some drivers love it. Some drivers hate it. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a good pair of races.
Yeah, that absolutely exceeded my expectations. That was just all around. That was just cinema. I got to do the thing. Absolute cinema.
That was absolute cinema for certain. Now, we're going to start our interview soon. But yes, if you do wish to join us next week, we'll be streaming here at the same time, at the same place, but at the Norris Ring, which me and Ozzy had a look at before the broadcast. And Norris Ring is an interesting circuit. If you've never seen it, go and Google it. It's basically a rectangle.
This one was very interesting.
Yeah. Norris Ring is basically a rectangle with a tail on it. It's got about 4 corners of note, basically 4 braking zones. So if you want to see even more carnage, come back here next week. Now, I'm not sure who we're going to get as an interview first, but I'm sure they'll appear pretty soon.
Got 3 here.
We've got 3 lining up. I think we'll have Thomas Hughes first.
Yeah, let's have our man Tom.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Good evening. You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine. Oh my God, man. So, Brno circuit, 3rd place. You had 2nd for the longest time. And Lorenzo, the mad dog he is, just took it from you. So,
he did, I know. To be fair, I think it was more of a tactical decision to almost let him have it in a way. Like, I don't want to fight it. I just thought everybody behind me was losing so much time battling, and it was the only reason I was able to stay in 2nd for so long. So exactly. I thought, let him pass cleanly. He's a quicker guy, and then just stay in his slipstream, just go with him, which I probably did for about half a lap, but it certainly helped just to kind of keep the P3, keep the podium.
Yeah, though, great tactical advantage on that part as well, and then. Race 1, you finished in 5th place as well. So a couple of top 5 finishes for you. So, did you happen to see? Because you were by no means the first guy that Lorenzo had to deal with in the second race. Did you happen to catch the constant nose to tailing of Lorenzo, Aiden, and Archie?
I saw a bit of it here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the aftermath of some of the incidences in front of me, but I didn't get a great view of it. I mean, the first race was a bit of a blur, really. I was in P5 so long. I think I just finished P6 in the end rather than P5. I got overtaken on the last lap. But it was still a good race. Mixing it with the guys a bit further forward, which was nice, especially after such a poor qualifying. I was a bit unsure where I was going to be, and it turned out well in the end.
Of course, 2 plus wins as well. 2 is very, very impressive. Do you think you'll be looking for a class championship at the end of the season, or is it too early to be talking about the big championship word?
Ooh, I hope so. I think the competition is so close, but I know who I've got to beat. I was fortunate that Assassin wasn't here this week, so I mean, I'll probably use this as a drop round. But he was currently leading the alumni, but we'll have to see when he comes back next week how he fares. And how we go at the end of the season with all the drop rounds as well. So I have my hopes are high, but we'll have to wait and see.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for speaking to us, and I'm sure we'll see you back out on Norris Ring next week.
No, thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Yeah, take it easy.
Next up, we're going to have, one of our one of our star drivers of the day. I think we'll get Aidan Larson in next. Obviously had a bit of an oopsie towards the end of the second race, which would be interesting to find out. Hello, Aidan.
Hello, everyone.
So my God, you have had goodness gracious, you all right?
As Clarkson would say, it was an race. Number 2 was interesting, but number 1 was good. I'm happy about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, so, and I remember your post-race interview after Alton Park, in which you got the sweep, you madman. But you said that you were looking forward to the battles between you and Lorenzo. So what do you think?
Yeah, damn tough, because he's a machine.
Oh my God.
That was not easy to keep. I think, because I did have the pace to beat him, I could have caught back up, but I kept slipping about.
Yeah.
So, just wasn't in it for me.
Yeah, and the contacts as well. I think that was class act by Jordan Pinnock to give you back the place after that.
Yes, he's a lovely gentleman.
Yeah,
he really didn't have to, because, I mean, look, at the end of the day, reverse grid is all about the fight, right? Stuff happens. Doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
I think the good thing about Championship 2 is obviously it's split into student for me and overall. So even though I get knocked about in overall, I've still got student to win. So,
yeah, and
I'm not too stressed.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about Lorenzo taking bodies like his name were John Bunting.
No, that's just it. If he was in student, that would be a different story. I'd be, I'd be in an interesting situation here. But no, luckily he's overall, so I can have a nice fight with him without stressing about making sure I overtake him.
Yeah.
I'm interested to get your opinion on Brno as a circuit, though. We've seen some drivers absolutely love it and some hate it. What did you think as someone who had a day of mixed fortune, shall we say?
It's an interesting one, to say the least. Yeah. I know a lot of people didn't love it, because I think mostly because it's really freaky. A lot of the lines you take are go weird on entry and then fast on exit. So all the apexes are really funny in most of the corners. So it made quite a challenge, but I think it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised by the track, because I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but yeah, I had fun.
It's good to hear, and I'm sure we'll see you back out for the weird square with the tail that is Norris Ring in 1 week's time. Thank you very much, Aidan.
Absolutely, no worries. Thank you very much.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Now we're going to have our last class winner, John B, come and join us in just 1 second before we speak to the man, Lorenzo himself. Hello, John.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, how are you doing?
Good. Bit relieved, I would say.
Oh my God.
You talk us through those 2 races.
Honestly, the first race was just kind of getting a feel of the track again in a race setting, I would say. I didn't really do too much practice on the starts, so I'm quite happy, especially the first one, the getaway I got.
Yeah,
but overall, I think it was okay.
Yeah, you were really holding your own. I mean, Alton Park, was just not a good set of races for you, but it's just incredible to me how you've managed it from there to Sonoma to Brno. You managed to you did so well in the improvement, 2 fourth place finishes. Like, how does that feel?
I'd say it feels great, I'll be honest. I think the first 2 events, especially Alton, I was still trying to get to grips of where I'm living at the moment and with a new setup. But I'd say especially after Sonoma, that was just awful. And then the start of Brno on a new rig again. Again, it's still a learning curve, but I'm glad to be where I'm at now, I would say.
I mean, at this point, would you say playing with house money might be the correct way to describe that performance?
I wouldn't say so. I definitely put way more practice into Brno than I did Sonoma and Alton Park, I'll be honest.
But it paid off, I think.
A shout out to Aiden for the setup.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Shout outs. Oh yeah, that post race. I bet you he saved a few lives there.
Well, thank you
I
for
mean,
speaking
that
to
was
us.
quite a horror coming from behind with Lorenzo and Aiden, I'll say that. And again, apologies to Aiden for killing him.
He'll take it in good stride, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Great hearing from you, John. Well done. Great job improving, and best of luck on a Norris ring.
Oh yeah. Cheers, lads. Thank you.
Cheers, lad. Yes.
Have a good one.
Oh.
One more to go, the big one. It's our race 1 winner, race 2 second place, Lorenzo. How are you doing?
Hey guys.
Oh my goodness. I finally have the pleasure of speaking to the absolute machine, Lorenzo Gualtieri. So, goodness gracious, man. I must say it has been absolutely astonishing to watch you in the first couple races at Oulton Park. You coming back so many places. Oh my god, man. Just take us through it.
No, thanks, man. It's good to meet you too, and finally chat to you as well. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's a great group of races that we're racing with here. The series is very well organized, and it's just been really good. You know, you just you never give up. You know, you never give up that fight. I suppose you learn that. You know, like in the real world, because I do race in real life, and you just never give up. You know, you never stop. You always keep pushing. You know, I don't want to sound like Hamilton here, but you know. Yeah.
Well, talk us through that first race. You appeared to be pretty comfortably in the lead, and then even in race 2, you still had pace in hand. How did you get that much pace? Just was it practice, or did you just really like the circuit?
So I've always liked this track for some reason. It's extremely technical. The ballast did throw me off quite a bit. I won't lie. But yeah, I had good pace in the first race, and Aiden was right on my tail. And then unfortunately, he made a mistake or two. And then in the second race, it was chaos as always. But managed to cipher through it as best as I could. And then just keep it on the black stuff and try and stay consistent. You know.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely great to see a lot of to see all this action, that you managed to pull through on, and it's just some of the decision making, like, and some of the moves you pulled off, like that one you had, I think it was Kessis and John B, where you took them both in just a wild sequence of events, and then it's just I think at this point, man, it's just, it does not matter where you are, it does not matter what place you are in. If Lorenzo is in your rearview mirror, you are not winning that battle.
No, thanks. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. But it just comes with a lot of practice. I've been sim racing for a very long time. So you're always constantly working on racecraft and dealing with pressure and stuff like that. So it's a lot of hard work, but it's good fun. And like I said, I really appreciate the compliment, man. Thank you.
No problem, man. It's just I just, the story has been so great to see, and I'm glad you're taking it in such good stride as well. For a man who's just a machine on the road, it's just, so great to have a, great attitude about it as well.
No, thank you.
Sure,
thank you.
Commentators are meant to be unbiased, but never mind. Thank you for joining us, Lorenzo, and best of luck for the rest of the season. See you next week.
Thank you, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Take it easy, man.
And that brings us to the end of round 3 of the Winter Series. I'm buzzing for Norris Ring next week. I'll be here. Ozzy will be here. Same place, same time, only in Germany this time rather than Czechia. Thank you to the broadcast team. Thank you for the race organisers. Thank you for you for watching. Good night.
Yep. I'm Ozzy, and for Dan, this has been BUSR ACC race number 3.
Reaching out. Road. where I could stand and say, I was pretty